Fit fam, I'm making this video because it's recently been brought to our attention that not everyone has seen this document or has been utilizing it. So this video is me breaking this whole document down, and it's going to show you why it's important and why, if you haven't looked at it, you definitely need to be looking at it. So what is it, you may be asking? It is called the Future You Fast Track. Now, the aim of the game for this resource here is to map out the quickest steps for you to achieve the results that you want the fastest. Usually it's that first milestone, because a lot of the times we want to know that we are making progress, or we want to know that we are able to actually make progress, which helps us stay motivated longer. A lot of times we come in and, we may have tried other things, we haven't hit our goal, and we're just not sure what we're supposed to do. This resource maps out the first three big components to the journey, and then ensuring that we can stick to that to get us to our first milestone. Because once you hit that first milestone, boom, you're going to stay motivated, you're going to stay consistent before you hit that next barrier. But the aim of the game here is to hit that first milestone fast. So that's what we're going to be doing with this. I want to run through the whole document in this video. And if you haven't seen it, it's in the studio. So make sure when you come in next for your next session that you sit down and you actually read through it. And if you do want a copy, you tell us so we can send you a copy, okay? So let's begin, shall we? So as I said before, aim of the game, we're going to tick off some milestones pretty fast. So first thing we want to cover is basically the app. This is how you can book your sessions in to make sure that you're coming in consistently and not falling off the bandwagon. So book online, get the spot that you want. Otherwise, the aim of the game for us is to just book you in for the same time every week so that you always know that you're coming in for a session. But the app is there to help keep you accountable for these sessions, all right? Next thing is the checking in and the tracking. We want to make sure that we're doing body scans early on in the journey and then also consistently throughout the journey. Body scans are a tricky one because they can be daunting, they can be embarrassing, they can be something that makes us feel a little bit anxious. But I'm telling you now, the only downside to a body scan is if you don't do it. Because how do you know that you're making progress? Whether or not progress is good or bad, if you've gone backwards in your progress, doing a body scan is going to show you that you've gone backwards a little bit, and we need to change some things around so that you can actually go forward. But if you don't track this, you may stay on the same trajectory and end up going further and further back, when the aim of the game is to be able to go forward. Okay, so making sure you're doing your body scans early on in the journey. The scanner will be in. It'll be at a different studio each month. So usually every second month it'll be in the studio. You want to make sure when you see it, you jump on it. We're going to dive into more set days of doing body scans so that everyone gets a chance to come in, chat with us about results, and actually go through it together, because there are a lot of unknowns in these body scans as well. If you haven't seen the video of me running through the body scan, jump on the YouTube channel and have a look, because it's there. Watch it. It'll show you how to read the body scan and how to go through it all and what they mean. Super important. So doing a body scan and make sure you're tracking your progress. Now, with the check-ins that we want to be able to do with you guys, it may be just us asking you how you're going in your session, and maybe a phone call to see how you're progressing. It may be an email. Whenever we reach out, whenever we're asking how you're going or if you're progressing, or we have one of these events where you come in and we can all chat about it, we want as much engagement as possible. It's very hard for us to help or be able to give any extra guidance or run through things with you if we don't necessarily hear from you that you feel like you need some more guidance. Because it is a touchy subject. A lot of times people may feel a little bit triggered when we ask, because it makes it seem like we're assuming that you're not making progress, which isn't the case. We want to ask every single person, if you feel like you're making progress. If you're not, what do you feel like you need to help? If you are, what are you doing well that we can then do more of to fast track that progress? So whenever you hear from us, whenever we do a check-in, whenever we post in the group, whenever we ask for feedback on anything, the more engagement we get, the better, because it allows us to know what you like, what you enjoy, what you don't like, what you don't enjoy, and we can do more of the stuff you like, less of the stuff you don't like. Okay, so check-ins are a massive part. Now, your resources involved in a part of your journey, things that I would recommend you utilizing would be the podcast. One, you get to listen to yours truly. Basically, with this podcast, I run through just a bunch of things that we've heard from members or conversations that we've had that I think other people would benefit from, because a lot of the things that we do here are the same things from a lot of people. And when we do have a one-on-one with someone, it's very good because there's a lot of information that's shared, and we get to have a different perspective on the situation. And from there, I know that other people are going through the same thing, so I want to share those conversations. From my point of view, it's just me talking, but it lets you have a bit of an insight, and maybe you will learn something from it. Maybe you'll learn a few tips and tricks. So definitely check that out. If you're not in the Facebook group, make sure you join the Facebook group. Everything that goes on in the studio, we post in there first. And that's the best way that we can communicate with every single person at the same time. So make sure you're in the Facebook group. The next resource is MyFitnessPal. This is a great way to track food, track calories, show your macro breakdown so you can see how much protein, carbs, and fats that you're getting in. And it also lets you compare this data with your recommendations on your body scan, which I'm going to go through soon. But this app here is great for nutrition awareness. Maybe you're not 100% sure how many calories you're eating. Maybe you don't really know what's going on. This is a great way to understand that for you. That's definitely a great one. Now, let's go to step one. Like I said, we're going to break down the main things that you need to be doing to hit that first milestone fast. And the first step is actually knowing what you're trying to hit. Because if you're just driving blind and you don't really know where you're going, how do you know when you get there? So we want to understand our goal. We want to know what we're trying to achieve. So with this, it gets a little bit interactive because a lot of times we don't know what our goal is, or we think that our goal is to lose weight and tone up because that's what we assume means we're making progress. Your goal could be anything. Your goal could literally be to stand on one leg for 20 minutes. Your goal could be to hold your breath for 50 minutes. Like, I don't know what. It could be anything. Your goal is subjective. Whatever you want to achieve, that's your goal. Don't feel like your goal has to be, I want to lose body fat. Don't think your goal has to be something that you assume needs to happen. Okay? So if you know your goal, perfect. The next thing you want to know is the reason behind the goal. And that's usually a big key indicator of whether or not it's your actual goal. If you tell us what your goal is and then we ask you why is that your goal, and you're like, I don't know, I just want to achieve it, but you don't really know why you want to achieve the goal, the emotional tie to that goal doesn't exist, and it's very hard to stay accountable and stay on track when you don't have an emotional tie to that goal. Whereas if we're talking to someone and we say, you know, what's your goal, and we get told, I need to lose body fat, I need to make sure you know, I'm not as heavy on my joints because I want to be able to run. I want to be able to run around after my kids or my grandkids, and I want to actually be able to see them grow up. That's a reason why. You can tell why. There's a reason that this person wants to achieve this goal. And when things get tough, and when motivation isn't there, and you can then remind yourself of the why, you're gonna stick at it. Like, for example, if you one day wake up, you're like, I don't really feel like doing anything today, and then we remind you that the reason you're on this journey is because you want to live longer for your kids and your grandkids. I can guarantee you're like, all right, I'm up, let's do this thing, okay? But if you don't have that why, you may be like, yeah, I'll get at it next week. So definitely encourage you to understand why. If you don't know your why, cool. That's why I run through this why method. And this is probably one of my favorite exercises to do with people. It's very annoying if you're on the back end of it. Very entertaining for us. It's very therapeutic as well because seeing someone become fully aware of what their goal is and the reason why is massive, and it's a massive breakthrough. So the reason why is it's making you understand why you're trying to achieve your goal essentially. So the way that I break this down is a simple question as to, you know, what would make you feel more confident? Because usually speaking, that's what we want to achieve on a health and fitness journey. We're lacking some sort of confidence, whether it's confidence that we're even going to live long enough to be able to see our kids grow up. Maybe it's confidence in being able to fit into a bikini at the beach. Maybe it's confidence in wearing a dress that I couldn't necessarily fit into. I don't fit into now, but I could fit into 10 years ago. So what would make you feel more confident? Ask yourself what it is and say it out loud. And then you want to keep asking yourself why, okay? You want to uncover, think of it like an onion, right? You want to uncover the layers and find the real reason why, okay? So, you know, here's a written example. Why do I want to lose 20 kilos? So I can fit into the clothes I've had for a while that don't fit me anymore. Why do I want to fit into these clothes? So I can look and feel as good as I did when I fit into these clothes. Why do I want to look as good and why do I want to look and feel as good as I did back then? Because I was confident and happy in my own skin, okay? Why do I want to feel confident and happy in my own skin? So I don't have to feel like I'm always being judged and I can live life the way I want to live. Boom. That's a much better reason than I just want to get healthy. I just want to be fit. You know, this is a bigger reason why. So, and this is like a real example. This happens. You know, this person has uncovered that they always feel like they're judged because they're not happy with their appearance and they think that everyone's looking at them and making them feel uncomfortable. And they want to be able to feel confident in their own skin and be able to live life the way they want to live. That's their why. That's valuable, okay? So when you're having your tough days and you can focus on your why, that's going to help push you through. So first step is understanding your goal and then making sure that you have a reason why, because now we know why we're on this journey, and that's going to help us progress into these next steps, okay? So step 2 is turning goals into habits, because having a goal is good, but if you have this end goal to lose 20 kilos and you're at the starting line and all you can see in the distance is that 20 kilos, but you have no idea how to get there, it's going to seem like a very, very, very far goal. And a lot of times that's what holds us back as well. So with this, we want to be able to turn our goals into habits. And if we can just do the stuff that we know we have to do every single day, we're going to get to that goal. Okay, so like I said, here, we want to break down the goal. So now that we have our big goal, we just need to break it down. This is the how to get there process. So like I said, it's all good to have that goal, but if you're not sure how to get there, it's like driving with a blindfold on. You got no idea if you're going the right way. So let's break it down. So I want to break down my end goal into weekly habits so that I can track things on a weekly basis and I can build more habits around there, because it's much easier to work through from a week to week basis than working from a goal basis of like, cool, 20 kilos. What do I have to do to lose 20 kilos? What do I have to do? This, and that. Oh my God, that's a lot. And then it's like, how often do I do it? What do I have to do on a daily basis? So having it on a week to week basis, you can break it down and it's so much easier. So with a goal, so say we want to lose 20 kilos of body fat, the rule of thumb here is half a kilo a week. It's trackable, it's achievable, and it's a healthy rate. Okay, we don't want to drop, I'm not going to get into that just yet, just stick with this, okay? So half a kilo a week is a healthy amount to lose. So if that's the goal, if we want to lose, we've worked it into a weekly thing, now we have a weekly goal to lose half a kilo a week. That sounds a lot more achievable than just dropping 20 kegs, right? Because 20 kilos is going to take some time, but I can lose half a kilo a week. That's easy. Well, that's easy. And then all we have to do is work out, if I can lose half a kilo a week, I'm gonna achieve my goal. It's going to take me 40 weeks, but I'm going to achieve my goal. Okay? The aim of the game is to achieve the goal. It's not I want to achieve 20 kilos in 2 weeks, because it's about being realistic. So this is the map for that. So from here, we've got our goal. We break it down. So let's say, sorry, I was saying 20 kilos. We're talking about 10 kilos here. So say for now the goal is 10 kilos and losing half a kilo a week, we can do that. Now all we have to do is break this down even further into daily habits that are going to guarantee that I lose half a kilo a week. So what does that mean? I'm going to eat the right amount of calories per day. We're going to get into the nutrition part in a second. Okay, we're going to reduce the amount of stress that my body experiences by having high quality sleep. We're going to meditate. We're going to work on our work-life balance. Exercising, we're going to make sure we come to our speed fit sessions. And then to help even more, we're going to aim for 10,000 steps per day that we're not in the studio. And you can have the weekends off. I'll be generous, all right? And then reducing my cravings and temptations, getting rid of the junk food out of the house, not eating after dinner, little things like that. They're habits that we can implement, right? And then drinking 3 liters of water, creating a daily checklist that I can tick off every day. Whatever it is that you find makes it easy for you to do, that's what we're doing. Okay, the basic way to do this is to build on these habits that are going to guarantee that we lose that half a kilo a week, and it's just doing the same stuff every day. Okay, and if we can do it every day, they become habits. We don't even think about it, we just do it. And if you're sticking within that calorie recommendation, before you know it, your body will naturally just stick to the same amount of calories, and it's easier to do. You're not always going to be like, oh man, I'm starving. You're going to find that you're just going to start eating that amount of calories. Or when you start to sleep a little bit longer, or you get some more quality sleep, your body's going to enjoy that, and it's going to start making you feel tired a little bit. It's going to start giving you signs that you have to go to bed earlier. And if you listen, they become habits. Okay, and same thing with the 10,000 steps. You're going to find that you actually want to go for walks, or you won't even think about it. You'll just put on your shoes, you'll chuck your headphones in, and you'll just go for a walk, and you'll be like, oh, wow, okay. And you won't think about it. It may seem hard now because we're at the start of the journey, but if you can do this consistently, trust me, it works, okay? I promise. Now, as long as we do that every single day and we lose our half a kilo a week, we're guaranteed to hit our goal. Like, we're guaranteed to hit our goal, which is the aim of the game, right? We want to make sure we hit our progress. We want to make sure that we hit our goal. That's what this does. It guarantees that we hit that goal. So, look, to do this exercise, break down your goal. Whatever your goal is, if it's to put on 5 kilos of lean muscle mass, what do you have to do to achieve that? If you have no idea what habits you need to be doing to achieve that, we've got resources on that too. But it's about being aware of that now. So this may unlock some more questions, but if you have those questions, ask us, because we have everything you need to be able to do this next step. But you need to do this stuff first, okay? So work out what the goal is, obviously. Break it down. What habits do you need to implement on a week-to-week basis to guarantee that you hit that goal? And then all it is being consistent, doing it day in, day out, checking in when you need to check in, doing a scan when you need to do a scan, coming to your sessions, doing all of your habits, you'll achieve your goal. I promise. Promise. And if you're not, there's a knot in the rope, and we have to undo that knot because there's something going on along the way. Okay? So that's the habits. Now, next bit is the nutrition, as I mentioned before. Now, Nutrition 101. This is probably one of the most important exercises to do, because this is going to increase your awareness massively, okay? So we want to make sure that we can have all this down pat within the first 30 days so that we can be well on our way to achieve that first milestone, okay? And the quicker we do this, the quicker we build on these habits, the quicker we see progress, the quicker we stay motivated, the quicker we hit our goal. That's the whole point. So it's not common for people to track what they eat. Not a lot of people do it. We usually just eat when we're hungry, we eat till we're full. That's usually what happens. We don't know how many calories we're eating, we don't know how much protein, how many fats, how many carbs. We don't know that, okay? So, yeah. Now, the aim here is to find out what we should be eating every week. This is what we should be eating every day to give you like the best chance at succeeding. That's pretty much what this is going to do. So, what we have to do is do a body scan, because when we do a body scan, it's going to give us recommendations based on our results. We want to know we want to know what our calorie recommendations should be. Okay? Actually, before we get into this, I just want to say something that I want you to be aware of. If you aren't willing, and this isn't a bad thing, I'm not calling anyone out, I'm saying if you're not willing to do this, and you're not willing to track calories, or you just think it's going to be too hard, or you don't want to do it, and it's not part of the progress for you, that's fine. One thing I want you to be aware of is that it's going to take you longer to achieve your goal. Okay, so say we had that 10 kilo goal and we wanted to achieve it, we wanted to lose that half a kilo a week. If you don't track your food, if you don't understand where your calories are at, or you don't know any of this stuff, it's going to take you longer to achieve that goal. You'll get to your goal eventually, but it may not be in the time that we've said. So that's why this is so important. So look, if the tracking of your nutrition isn't something that you want to do, you don't have to do this, but I just want to make you know that if you are serious about achieving that goal and it's very important to you and you're going to do whatever it takes to achieve it, this is something that you must be aware of, okay? So back to the thing. We're tracking calories. So jumping on your body scanner, putting in everything that we need to be putting in, it's going to give you this data, okay? It's going to give you a recommended calorie intake for your goal. Now, whether your goal is to lose fat, gain muscle, or optimal health, which is maintenance, it's going to give you a recommendation based on your goal, okay? So this is all we're doing. We're looking at these numbers here, and we're like, cool, we've got our recommendation. So that's one part of the puzzle. Now, the next thing is that we want to, here's this app again, all right, MyFitnessPal. This is how we're going to track. This is how we're going to track our nutrition. We have our recommendations. Now, the next thing we want to do is track what we're actually doing. So we have recommendations. Now we want to know what we're actually doing. So if we can spend 1 full week of inputting everything that we put in our mouth, measuring everything that we eat. Usually we eat the same stuff all the time, but if we can track everything we eat for a full week, it's going to give us numbers like this. It's going to tell us how many total calories we ate on average protein, average carbs, and average fats. And then all we're doing is literally comparing what we got actually, like from our actual day-to-day, to what our body scan has recommended, and then we make the tweaks, okay? 9 times out of 10, and this is what we see all the time, okay? 9 times out of 10, if someone's trying to lose fat and they're not losing fat, they're not making progress, calories are, people are either eating too many calories, so their recommended calories are a little bit lower, and we're mistracking so that we're eating more than we should be, or we've drastically dropped the amount of calories that our body's now going backwards. There's a sweet spot. You can't just drop all your calories and think you're going to lose fat, because it doesn't work like that. And also, if you're not tracking, you may think that you're eating less calories, but if you're not losing body fat, this is usually the reason why, okay? Now, obviously there are other things at play, but this is the main thing. If you find that you're doing this perfectly, you've stuck with your calories, you're doing everything perfectly, and there are still things not working, this is where it would be like, okay, maybe we need to go get our bloods done and look at something. Maybe there could be some other things at play. Maybe there could be some hormonal imbalances. Maybe it's something that's that we need to get on top of before we can do this. Because we've also seen that happen a lot too, where people have been doing this and things aren't really adding up, and we've said, hey, just go do that, see if you can get some extra feedback, and then it's come back and there have been little alarm bells, and then once that's been sorted out and we've dived back into the exact same process, boom, progress. Okay, so it's a good thing. This is part of the learning process, to be able to do this and learn from it as well. So doing this, seeing where your calories should be at, and then tracking yourself to see where your calories are actually at, and then finding the differences, okay, making the tweaks. If progress isn't happening, I can guarantee you this is part of the process. So seeing where this is at, and the more accurate you can be on the tracking of your own calories, the more accurate you're going to be when comparing the two together. And all we do from there is, depending on what your goal is, we make the tweaks. If you're eating too many calories, we can drop them down lower. If you're not eating enough calories, we can bring them up a little bit higher. If you're trying to put on muscle but you're not eating enough, we can tweak your calories. We can show you what you should be doing. That's how this whole thing works. And then all it is from there is you doing that stuff. So using your calorie recommendations to meal prep, finding, cool, how can I get some high protein in? What can I do for high protein? How can I get this amount of calories in my diet? Why do I need to have this many carbs? What is all this? We can run through that, but we need to get this stuff down pat first. So that's how we do it. We track everything, and then from there we just need to make a few little tweaks, and then all you have to do from there is stick at it. Okay, so one of the biggest parts of this guide is the nutrition side. So from there, all it is now is having a checklist and just doing all this stuff. So now we've learned what it is that we need to do. Now we have a bit of a checklist so we can see, cool, if I've done all this stuff, now I can just kick my bum into gear and we're ready to rock. So you've read this whole thing from start to finish. You've downloaded the apps, you've looked into all your resources, you've joined the Facebook group, you've done your first body scan, you've tracked your, you've tracked your calories for the week, you've joined the Facebook group, you have your first 30-day goal, or you have your goal and we've been able to break it down. So like I said before, if your goal is to lose 10 or 20 kilos, we break it down. So half a kilo a week, we're looking at our first 30 days. We're just trying to drop 2 kilos of body fat. Okay, if we can do that, we've hit our 30-day goal, we can then progress on. Okay, but it's hitting that first 30-day goal. We've done, like I said, done our body scan, we've written notes, we've broken down our goals, we know what our nutrition is looking and we know what's coming next. And then we know what daily habits that we're going to build that are going to guarantee success. Tick all this stuff off and I promise you're going to be well on track to making some solid progress. And if you get through here and you can't tick some certain things off, that's when you ask us. That's when you ask us. Like if you get to this bottom one and you're like, or I'm not sure what my daily habits are supposed to be, ask us. Be like, hey, I'm trying to lose body fat. What daily habits can I implement that's going to help me guarantee that I lose body fat? I'm like, cool. Are you eating in a calorie deficit? Have you tracked, have you put down your, sticking in your calories? Oh, no, I didn't. Cool. Put that in there. Have you got in your 10,000 steps? Yes. Cool. Have you got your sleep? Yes. Cool. And, you know, we'll be able to tell you what you have to put in there. But having this is massive. And then from there, what comes after that first milestone is that we set the next milestone. So once you've achieved that first bit, usually you're like, cool, I know what I have to do. I've done it. Now I just have to keep doing the same stuff, and you'll keep doing the same stuff. Once you've done that, all I can say is just keep doing more of the good stuff and less of the bad stuff, and you're gonna get to your goal. But basically, this whole program here is to get you to do that quickly, and so you're fully aware of the stuff that you have to be doing to achieve the goal. All right, like I said here, is it going to be easy? No. Are there going to be days where you feel Yes. Is it going to be worth it in the end? 100 times yes. All right, guarantee you it's going to be worth it. All right, then at the bottom, you've got some goals that you can put in. There's a spot where you can write all this stuff in. So you've got your goals, you can add some notes on your goals, add some notes on your nutrition, what comes next, if there's any extra notes, and then same thing, you get a couple extra pages there. But this is a great resource if you're either trying to figure out what you have to do, you're not really sure what it is that you need to be doing, or you just want to make sure that you can follow along with something and tick things off the list. Do this, because it's going to make you aware of what you're doing, what you're not doing, what you should be doing, and then how to do it as well. And then, like I said, we're going to be there every step of the way. So the more questions that you ask us, the more we're going to understand where you're at, the more guidance we're going to be able to give. So thanks for sticking around. Hope this was beneficial. If it was too long, tell me. I can try and make a shorter version, but there's a lot of stuff to unpack here, and I want to make sure you get the best information there is. Okay, so thank you. I'll see you soon.